going on, guys? In today's video we're going to be doing a Q&A on my CL. I asked you guys on Instagram to ask some questions, so I'm going to be reading them out and answering them on this video. Alright, so the first question I got is, did you have any problems with the motor or suspension? With the suspension, I haven't had any real problems. I've only done maintenance to it, like ABC flush, and I've done accumulators. To be honest, when I first got the car, I did have a ABC error code every time I would go over bumps, and I figured out that's because of a bad ABC accumulator, so I changed those out and the problem went away, and I haven't had any problems with it since. It's actually been a pretty reliable system, at least for me. I know other people haven't had as much luck as I have. And as far as the motor goes, I've changed the alternator a couple times on it, engine mounts, wear and tear items. I haven't had any like big problem on it, but it's just been wear and tear items mainly. Okay, so the next question, how expensive is it to maintain? I've read about the hydraulic suspension tending to go out. So pretty much I answered in the first question, but I will say that I think a very important part of maintaining the suspension is changing the accumulators, because if you don't change those out, what those pretty much do is they send instant pressure to the car when you hit a bump. So if those are bad, you're going to be putting a lot more stress on the actual pump itself, and you're going to make the pump go out. I think it's better to replace lines that blow up than the pump. The pump is in a very awkward position inside the engine, so it's very difficult to remove, and you gotta remove a bunch of stuff. Lines, some are hard to get to, but most that break are, especially with these V8 engines, not the V12s are a little harder, but with the V8s you have a bit of room to remove like blown lines and change them out quite easily, but it's obviously you can't do it if you have zero experience. Alright, the next person asked, do you have it enhanced? I have one like it and would like to do it. I'm guessing that means tuned, and yes, I do have it tuned. I just have a tune on it though. I do not have an upgraded pulley or a smaller pulley. It's still the stock pulley from factory, so I gained a bit of horsepower, not too much. I pretty much did it to make the car feel a little more alive. You know, it is a pretty old car, so regardless of how much power it has aged. So I did tune it, and I do have a video of it on the dyno. It dyno around 450 wheel and 500 wheel torque, so I think it's pretty healthy numbers. Also, let me add that I got it tuned by Race IQ. That's the people I got it tuned by. They're based in Atlanta, I'm in South Florida, so they sent a file over and I had it uploaded here by a mechanic shop. And yeah, I've had the tune for pretty much 3 years now, and it's going strong. I haven't had any problems with it. Alright, next question, what tints do I have? I have 35% in the front windshield, 35% in the back windshield, and 25% on the side. This person asks, when will give me the CL? So amazing. Unfortunately, I'm not doing a giveaway on the CL anytime soon. This person asked, how do you run it so low? So I have ABC lowering links on it, so they're pretty much little sticks I got from eBay that fool the sensors into thinking the car's at a different height, resulting it into lower more. I've been running these for around 2.5 years or maybe even more without any problems. I can still raise the car up. The car's highest height is pretty much a little lower than its lower height before, and well, the lowest height is very low. It pretty much tucks in the rear tires. I'll put links for the lowering links down below. I bought some generic ones on eBay. There are some more expensive ones, but it's just a little piece of metal. It's nothing fancy, so I just got them from eBay for like 100 bucks. This person asked mods. The only mod I have done is a tune from Race IQ, just to up the power a little bit. I'm still on stock pulley. This person asked, how fast is it? I haven't got a accurate quarter-mile time. The times that I have taken it out to the quarter-mile strip, the tires were slipping. As you guys know, these cars did come with open differential, so they aren't very good at, you know, digs and stuff like that. So I tried my best to get it to hook, but I got very bad times. I pretty much let off after accelerating, so I haven't had an accurate time. I know it's a pretty quick car. Exhaust setup. For the exhaust, I have deleted my secondary cats and my resonators, and in its place I put an X pipe. I still have the stock upper catalytic converters and the mufflers. I think it sounds pretty good like that. It's not a very obnoxious loud, and it also isn't very silent. I have quite a few videos on my exhaust of them actually making the custom exhaust work, and sound clips compared to stock versus how it sounds now. So I'll leave those down below if you guys want to check those out. It's at the 19-inch rims. The front ones, well, my setup usually are 19 inches. As you guys know, the rear ones are the factory ones, which those are 18s, but I'm pretty sure he's referring to this setup in the front, which you guys have seen all the time on my Instagram. Those are 19s, and yeah, they look very good. How do you get the pops and bangs? The pops and bangs did come with the Race IQ tune. I pretty much told them that I wanted pops and bangs. It's pretty good because most cars, they pop and bang when you let off the throttle. This one, if you let off, it won't pop. You kind of have to have your foot a little bit on the gas pedal for it to do it, so you could pretty much choose for it to pop or for it not to pop. Person asked, will I sell it? Yes, eventually I will sell this car. As much as I love it and I've had this car for the longest I've had any car, I will want to move on to something else. I will most likely get another CL in the future, probably a 65 if, you know, finances allow it, because this car has had a very big impact on my life and I really do like this car. But as for my current situation now, I will eventually sell it. This person asked, compared it with the W220, what do I choose? I choose the CL. I obviously could have got a S-Class. I think this one looks better. It has more of a unique style that will evolve with time. I think it's a pretty timeless car. The S-Class is a very nice car. My friend had it. It's obviously four-door. It's feels a little more, not roomy in the sense, because this is a very big car for a coupe. The other one is even bigger and a four-door, so it is very roomy inside. And I think the S55 might have came with a long wheelbase. I'm not sure. I know the regular one did, so that one's even more, but I do choose this one over that one. I think, like I said, I think it looks better. I think it has a more timeless look to it. I think the other one, the front of it is aging not so good as this one is. This person asked, there's something different about the rear wheels. What is it? I know you guys can't tell in the video now because I have these on, but if you check on my Instagram, I know what he's talking about. He's talking about the lip I have on my rear wheels. That is because a lot of people think these are the AMG CL65 or later gen CL55 two-piece rims, which they aren't. These are TSW Bremma, which are pretty much made to look like the originals, but with a lip in the back. I think that was pretty cool. At first I didn't really like it, but it grew on me and it gives the car, you know, a more silver arrow type of look with, you know, thicker looking rims in the back. Clean your engine bay? If yes, then what are you used to clean it? Yes, I do clean my engine bay. It's not every time I wash the car, but every once in a while I do. If it's very dirty, I will pull out the degreaser with a microfiber and start hitting it. For the chrome pieces or the aluminum pieces on the engine, when I first got the car, they didn't look that good, so I got mother's polish or mother's aluminum polish, and with a drill, you know, attachment or your hand, you could just do it with your hand. It takes a little longer, but you could. I just was there scrubbing for a while until they were pretty much shiny. And maintain it, you could just use a bit of alcohol mixed with water and a microfiber, and you could just, you know, periodically clean it up with that, and it'll do pretty good. It's suitable for daily use. I wouldn't daily this car. I've never dailied this car. You could probably daily the car, but it's one of those cars that if the ABC explodes or whatever, it's just gonna leave you stranded. Most cars you could kind of limp home or to the mechanic. With this one, it's if something breaks on the ABC, then you just have to get it towed from wherever you are. Does a compressor whine like that American V8s? Yes and no. Well, no, it doesn't whine like a Hellcat. A Hellcat is specifically designed to make the whine as loud as possible. This one is the complete opposite. It is made for the whine to be as silent as possible. You guys think about it, Hellcats have fixed supercharger pulleys, and these have that magnetic supercharger pulley thing. So Mercedes doesn't even want you to hear the supercharger whine if you don't need it. You know, Hellcats whine at like 1,000 RPM. So you could get these to just like the Hellcats. If you do intake, smaller pulley, they will whine pretty loud, but stock, they don't whine at all unless you're standing right in front of the car and it's just boosting and heading right towards you. That's the only time I've heard this car whine. He also asked, is there a huge difference from 55 to 500? For me, yes, there is. I had a 2001 CL500, and this one's a 2003 CL55. So the CL500 was pretty slow compared to this. Like, I would say the CL500 was here, and this one's up here, or even more. It was a big jump. I know in 2003 the CL500's got the 7-speed, which made it a bit quicker. I've never driven a 7-speed CL or S-Class. My friend has, and he told me it feels a lot quicker than what a 5-speed CL500 did. Does it feel as heavy as it is? Yes and no. Obviously, a lot of people say that the ABC suspension covers that a lot, and it does cover that a lot, but you do still feel it. Even with the ABC suspension in sport mode, with everything good, you do, you know, you can't just take weight off the car. So it does its best to try to hide it, but you know, if you're going pretty fast into turns, it doesn't feel like an M2, an M3, an M4. It feels like it's weight, you know, it has some weight to it, so you do feel it. I might get some people that say, you know, that's wrong, but that's just my take on it. I've driven other cars. I've had a 335 before, and even though that car was just on, you know, its regular suspension, it did feel a lot lighter than this one. Like I said, it does a pretty good job at, you know, making you feel like the car's less heavy. You can lean at all if it's in sport mode, but you still, like I said, you can't make the weight magically disappear no matter what you put on it. Alright guys, so that pretty much wraps it up for the questions. Hopefully I answered all the questions in a way you guys can understand. I tried to elaborate a little more than the questions themselves. Like I said, this car is very nice to own. If you have a good deal on one and it's in fair or good condition, I would definitely get it. It's a very nice car. When I had my CL500 and I found out about the 55s, I really wanted one, and it took a bit to find the one I wanted, but I did eventually, you know, get one. If you guys have any suggestions on videos that you want to see on the car, on the CL or on my Jeep, or just videos in general, just put them down below. Also, if you guys like this car and want to follow it on Instagram, the Instagram page is fast_CL55. So just go on Instagram, give it a follow. I post weekly pictures and weekly videos on the car, so you guys will probably enjoy that too.